Hello, everybody. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Let us know what you're reading. If you haven't already, there's a lot of comments already. So,
Do you get any trick-or-treaters by you? Probably not, right?
no, I don't think anybody would want to go down our lane at night anyway.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're just out in the country, and I don't think anybody really thinks of it. Even whenever, whenever my niece and nephew were small, we used to get them and maybe a couple of cousins, but then all of them are all grown, and
Yeah.
so we don't get any. So it's like we could buy the candy and pretend like we're gonna get them, and then eat it ourselves.
Be like, oh, well, no one came. Guess we'll have to eat it.
Do you guys get any trick or treaters?
Not on my block, no. I think that if kids were to come by, they come early, like with their parents, like early, like right after school. And nobody on my block is really home till later, so I don't think so.
So we'll just get into what are you going to be reading tonight?
Me first?
Yeah.
I am reading, I have 33 minutes left in The Girl in the Video, which is a short story horror book, and like that much left in Fatal Fried Rice, less than 100 pages.
We can do it.
Yes. How about you?
I have a little bit left of The Reckoning, which is the third book in the Whispering Pine series. Scary little critters with 4 eyes.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, for like middle grade, this is really creepy.
I even thought that with the first one. I was like, great, this is like a lot more.
Like I said, the first one was like super creepy. I thought the second one was okay. I think it might creep people out because of the giant centipede, like alien, like things that people then don't like bugs, and things like that. But I didn't really think it was like super. But this one's gone back to like really creepy. I mean, it started out with like the murder of a kid that some creatures got, and everything. So it's like, this is middle grade, right?
That one pushed the envelope though a lot.
Yeah, it does. But it is funny because I read a whole bunch of Goosebumps and like the Nightmare, like R.L. Stine books.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, these came out in like the 90s and like early 2000s and things like that. And I'm like, middle grade spookies have come a whole long ways.
Yes.
Like
yes.
Totally different.
Totally different.
So Hi Pat says, good evening, everyone. Started reading A Murder at the Beacon Bake Shop by Darcy Hannah. 5 books came in today from Harlequin. Trying to use my reward points. All right.
Nice.
So Tiffany couldn't make it tonight, and Sarah's having laptop problems, so maybe she will be here later, but not sure. So that's why you just got the 2 of us. And Cav says, happy Halloween. Not many trick-or-treaters out about this year. I'm going to have way too much candy left over. So not good. I'm reading Deadly Shadows by Danny Petrie, romantic suspense. Hi, Hannah says, hi all. I don't know what I'm reading. I haven't been feeling too great today. So yeah. Okay. Well, hope you get to feeling better. And Jenny says, happy Halloween. During the first sprint, I plan on browsing the Harlequin website. Can't pass up the buy 4, get 2 free books. Yeah.
Agreed.
I will have to say, I heartily approve because I know that's what Sarah would say. And Nadine says, hi, everyone. I'll be reading Love and Death Among the Cheetahs by Rise Bowen, number 13 in the Royal Spinous Mystery Series. I hope to binge catch up with the series ASAP. Is number 16 expected to release November 8th. Hi, baby. I don't know what her problem is. I felt like there's little licking on my leg. My dog is over here and it's just weird. Okay. Cajun says, hi, everyone. Reading Horsing Around with Murder, a Senior Sleuth Mystery number 1. This one is set in Canada. I think that is the first for me. Oh, nice. And where is Tiffany? A Senior Sleuth Mystery. I'm sure you would want to know about that one. And then Cajun says to Hannah, I hope you get to feeling better. And hi, Nancy. Said, hi, everyone. I'm reading The Cottage House by Carol Neger on ebook this evening. I've heard of her, but I've heard of her, but I've never read her books. But I've heard of her.
Me either.
Have you? I think she's like a thriller kind of suspense, maybe.
I think suspense.
What's your problem, buddy? And it says, "Hi everyone, I'm watching Christopher Lee tell ghost stories by M.R. James on YouTube." Oh, that sounds cool.
Mm-hmm.
Hannah said, "Thank you. I don't know what it is. I feel fine, but I'm just not. I think it's allergies. Yeah, allergies are kind of nasty this time of year for me."
Mm-hmm.
And then Nancy says, "Hope you're feeling better." And Debbie says, "Hi all, reading Flying Solo by Linda Holmes." And Cajun says, "Could be seasonal change. Hope it improves." Yeah. Like darn seasonal changing.
Mm-hmm.
Dream in the Garden says, "Hi everyone. Not sure what I'll be reading tonight." And Jesse says, "Happy Halloween, everyone. I'm halfway reading the Camelot Code. I'm at 254 out of 496. Ooh, you got a long ways to go still.
Yeah.
But you can do it."
You're getting there.
And Nancy says, "Allergies can be really problematic." Yes. And Hannah says, "I agree. I was fine during my trip, but when I made it home, I was like, it was a slap to the face, literally. A lot of times when you travel, that happens."
I was just going to say something on the plane too, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mel Max says, "Hi Stormy, hi Lee, hi everyone. I'm reading The Jasmine Moon Murder by Laura Childs, number 5 in the tea shop, so page 227 of 245. This gives me the J, and with that completes my cozy road trip."
Nice.
Wow, there you go.
That's not that much too. You can get that done.
I was gonna say, yeah. Focus, Melmac. Focus.
Yes. Don't get distracted.
Don't get distracted. Yeah. And Donna says, "Happy Halloween, everyone."
Mm-hmm.
And Jen says, "Hi everyone, happy Halloween. I'm reading Murder in the Locked Library tonight. Trying to finish it up tonight. Cool." And Lisa says, "Hey, I haven't been here for so long. I've missed y'all so much. I'm looking back to getting back into reading this time of year." All right. Well, we're glad to have you back, Lisa. Yeah. And Renee says, "Happy Halloween, everyone. I finished up a thriller, The Best of Friends by Lucinda Berry. I'm ready to know the answers." All right.
Get that.
Oops. And Cajun says, "Hi, Lisa. Good to see you." Yeah. Courtney. Hi, Courtney says, "Happy Halloween. So happy to find a sprint tonight. I'll be starting They Both Die at the End by Amon Silvera. Adam Silvera, ain't it? I think.
Yeah. It doesn't sound like that's going to be much of a surprise ending, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it kind of gives it away in the title, maybe. Unless there's some kind of twist, because
exactly.
Heard people talk about that one, but I don't necessarily.
Or it's like how they die might be the surprise.
Yeah. Hi, Danelle. I'm not sure what I'm going to be reading tonight. I got a stack of Halloween picture books and some ghost stories to choose from. Oh, sounds fun.
Nice options.
And as Sarah Beth says, "Storm, I am a new booktuber, and you're my favorite YouTuber, and I was wondering if you would allow me to do a YouTube spotlight on you, and it would be all positive." Yep, sure.
Aww.
That would be fine.
Nice.
I don't think I've ever had anybody ever ask me that before, so. Nancy says, "I'm reading my Carol Negra. I don't know how you say her name.
Carla
Neggers book.
I think that's
Can't see. I need better glasses." Off of my bookshelf, trying to read what I own. There you go.
Makes sense.
And Renee says, "Definitely not looking forward to the time change Sunday." Yeah.
Me either.
Laser focused always. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Lisa says, "I'm going to change my Kindle in the first sprint and choose a cozy mystery on here. Might buy myself some new ones." Oh,
nice.
You have to let us know if you buy some, what you're going to buy.
Oh, excuse me.
I got through all the comments. What?
Yay.
And early, too.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, there's a lot of people here. I didn't know how it would be since it's Halloween. Because,
Yeah, that's true.
Some might be out and about or whatever. But
I feel like some towns too, they have a specific day that they do like their Halloween and trick-or-treating and stuff like that. down the shore where my cousins live, like it's the Saturday before Halloween always. So that's just the day that trick or treating goes on. There's a parade in the morning, so maybe people already had something
Yeah,
like
yeah, I
similar.
was thinking that maybe a lot of people were probably doing it yesterday since it's Halloween's on a Monday and
Mhm.
parents don't want to be out too late. Stuff like that, maybe.
Very true.
Hi, Rosie says, hi, I'm going to try to finish the 12 Slaves of Christmas. Yay.
Nice.
Well, might as well go ahead and get going since we don't have any other comments. And so we'll just go ahead. Okay, I see you, baby. Read to the top of the hour. And so
All right.
happy reading, everyone.
Happy reading.
Close enough. How did everybody do? How'd you do, Lee?
I finished my book.
Yay.
So.
Did you like it?
Yes. At first, I didn't think I was going to. I thought it was kind of stupid, but then like the halfway mark, it definitely picked up and it ended better than I thought it would. So, and then I finished that, and then I had to, it's election time, so we have like some flyer outside, and it's so funny because like our what the heck is he? Our councilman has been mortal enemies with our mayor. I mean, claimed death threats, all this other nonsense, but now they're banding together for the good of the state of New Jersey.
It's always weird how that happens.
I know.
Close to election.
Can this please just be over with? Please.
I cannot wait for next Tuesday to get here.
Yeah.
Well, I got to 241 or 242 out of 280, so I'm getting there.
Nice.
I had aggravations, and my lap is not big enough for her and me to have reading room, and I put her down, and then she lays like, I don't know what her problem is. She gets this way sometimes. She gets really clingy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of gotten worse after she had her surgery. So
it makes sense, though. She wants to be near you. You're her comfort.
Yeah. Except I need a bigger lap. And Melmac says they rarely get trick-or-treaters.
Yeah.
And then Dresden wants to be on the camera, I guess. I don't know. And Hannah says, last year trick-or-treating was on Saturday and Sunday, depending on the town. We went out both days with the kiddos.
Nice.
Calm down. And Jessica says, hello, everyone. I'll be reading Kingdom of the Fear halfway through and enjoying it. I also wanting to get my November TBR and reading journal figured out. I have a feeling I'm going to spend tomorrow trying to rearrange my wrap-ups because I read way too many books. Way too many.
That's what I'm going to do on the next sprint is I'm going to film my last thing about this book and then work on that.
I was hoping that I would be finished in the first sprint, except it didn't go quite how I wanted because I was wrestling with a dog, so that I could listen to the audiobook of Midnight Bayou and then I could work on my wrap-up stuff, but I don't think it's going to work. We'll have to do it afterwards.
Sounds like, nope.
Yeah. Okay, so Hannah said she's going to pick up This Tender Land, which I've never heard of, I don't think.
No, but she said she was hoping to finish it by Tuesday, she said earlier.
She said it was going to fit your prompt for yours, so she's been holding off on reading it. Jen says, our town does trick-or-treating on Halloween always. We don't get many where we live, though, because there are a lot of places close to downtown where they do the trunk-or-treat. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Seems like that's like the big popular thing now, and, society has kind of made it that way. You don't trust your neighbor, so you don't go trick-or-treating to anybody in your neighborhood. You go to a store or a church that's having like a trunk-or-treat or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, all of the schools had that pretty much today. So many of like my coworkers that are parents were out today because they were doing the trunk or treat.
Make up your mind. And Jen said to Hannah that she loved that book, and she said it's going to probably be a 5-star. So maybe you should look it up and see what it is. Is it a thriller or is it a
right now?
And Melmac said, I finished my book. Now I can start one that I can count for October.
How come you finish the book when Tiffany's not here, Mel? Come on.
I know. We're going to give Tiffany a complex. When she's not here, you read really well.
It is. This Tender Land is a historical fiction coming of age. That's what it says.
Hannah, that doesn't sound like something that I would think you would read.
Got good reviews, and it takes place in Minnesota.
I know I think she said that was for her in like her book club that she like goes to. I
Oh,
guess.
okay. Probably. It came out in 2019, so maybe they do a couple years just to give people time to find the book.
That's it. Get down.
It's about Native Americans, so it takes place in Minnesota.
I know, Bubby, but I can't do it. I can't. My lap is not big enough.
She'll not be denied.
And Cav says, "Yeah, yay! Finish a book, a page turner at the end. And now I have to figure out what to read next. Decisions. That is always the toughest decision." Mm-hmm. And Lisa says, "Chose a book. I read 51 pages in the sprint. I'm reading Danny, the Champion of the World by Rodal. It reread from my school days. That's cool. Nice. I have only read Charlie and the Chocolate Factory from Rodal. I need to read others. I like the Witches, the movie, the older movie, not like the new one they come out with, but the older one. I always liked it, so I'm like, I need to read the source material."
There you go.
And Courtney says, "I love Roald Dahl as a kid. Danny is a new one to me. I'm going to have to look that one up." And Jen said, "Listening to my book while I made supper and ate, we had mummy dogs and taco soup." Now that's cool. That's fun. And Hannah says, "I can't wait to not get harassed by politicians. Like, leave me alone. I definitely won't vote for you if you keep bothering me."
Thank you. Leave me alone and I will vote for you.
Mm-hmm. And Caden said made it to 15%, and Hannah made it 75%. You better hold off. You ain't going to be able to count it. It's not midnight yet.
You got time.
And Lisa said, "I haven't read since the beginning of August. I forgot how much I loved it. I'm so obsessed and excited to get back to it." Well, I'm glad you're getting back to it. Dresden has the Halloween heebie. She's got something. It's like, is it a full moon or?
It's not, but I was even thinking that too. I was like, is that what it is?
And Jenny says, "I'm so bummed. Every book I wanted to buy on Harlequin was unavailable. They're pretty much only have available." That's a bummer, but you know why? It's because everybody is spending their points
before the points run out.
Before the points expire, because they're no longer going to be doing the points system anymore or whatever it is. So they have, I think it ends this month, the points, and then you have till December. I think that's what Sarah said, to use your points. Yeah. So everybody is getting in there and buying up all of Harlequin stock, and they're good. Harlequin's probably going, "Oh my goodness, what do we do?"
Right, we have no stock left.
And that says, "I would best describe it as Stand By Me and Huck Finn." Okay.
I could see that vibe. Yeah, it's on like the river and all that.
And Jesse E says, read 30 pages more.
Nice.
Okay, so I asked this question in my Discords, but since some of y'all aren't in there or haven't been in there, I'm going to go ahead and ask it again. And if you already answered it, you don't have to do it again if you don't want to. But since it's the last day of October, what was your favorite read of October, and what was your least favorite read? And I will have to go look at my stuff, because
that's why I had to grab my notes real quick.
I have a feeling that this one is probably going to be one of my favorite ones. It's like, I'm not finished with it yet. Don't know if it's going to end on a cliffhanger or what it's going to do. I have a feeling it's not the last one. I think whenever Sherry read it, I think she said something about she couldn't wait to get to the next one. That, so I think it must either leave it at a cliffhanger or stuff doesn't feel like it's wrapped up. Mm-hmm. So as of right now, yeah, that doesn't feel very. I only got like about 40 pages left in it.
Yeah, that's a pretty popular series. I could see them keep going with it.
Yeah.
Though.
And I seriously think if you like Stranger Things and X-Files, that you would really like this, because the more you get into it, like even this one feels even more Stranger Things, because they have this place that's called the Other Place. And in this other place is where all these other creatures and things and stuff. And in this one, they've had to go into like the other place, and you have to open a rift and go in, and things are happening, and
that's very Stranger Things vibes. Yeah.
So very, very Stranger Things vibes.
Yeah.
And I definitely would say it's for older middle grade to like younger teens. I don't really see a like 8 or 9-year-old reading this without having nightmares.
Yeah, no, definitely. Even just from the first one, no, I don't think so.
Yeah. Did you say what your favorite was?
No, I didn't. I'm looking right now, and I'm gonna say I think my favorite was two of them. One was a short story horror called Dear Laura by Gemma something.
Oh, so you like that one, huh?
Yeah. And then the other one was The Plot and the Pendulum by Jen McKinley.
The one I haven't got to yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a surprise that that's one of my
favorites. Not a surprise, yeah. Yeah, I'm like, if I would have gotten to that one, I can see that one would have probably been a favorite one.
Yeah.
My computer's slow. I'm trying to get to all the books. Okay, so the reason why I said I have to look and I can't like really think off the top of my head is when I read 42 books this month.
You killed it this month. Yeah. You really did.
But you have to think they were all but 4 of them were middle grade and stuff. So like, and a lot of them were audiobooks that were like, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours or less. So
Storm, don't try to put yourself down.
I'm not. I'm just trying to
do really good.
I read all of
You did really good.
And therefore, I can't remember everything that I read. So I have to
that makes sense. Plus, I feel like this month flew by. I was like, I read some of that in October. I'm like, come on.
Well, you know, honestly, like I know I was reading a lot, but I didn't really feel like I read a lot until I like looked, and then I was like, oh man, I'm like reading like that's a whole bunch of them. And I even read like one of my audiobooks was 15 hours. So
see?
Okay, I would say, okay, I think this one's going to be a good contender for probably being one of my favorite ones, but Ravenfall by Caitlin Josephson, I really liked that one. It was more of a fantasy kind of than horror, but it did have creepy elements in it. I think if you're more on the Tiffany side of spooky, it could be a little creepy for you, but I think for most people it wouldn't. And it was a middle grade book.
Okay.
And Camp Murder Face was fun. I liked it.
Yeah, you like that in your wrap up.
And that one, you know, I mean, that one's got the classic like campfire trope thing. So, I mean, those are always kind of fun.
Yeah, love those.
Did you have like a least favorite, like one that you're just like, ugh?
Yes, Invisible Girl by Lisa Joel.
So that one was your least favorite.
Which I've given all the other ones I've read by her 4 or 5 stars, and this one was 2.5.
Yeah, so you found the dud.
Exactly. I'm like, okay, that's it.
That happens sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, because I was even like, I was so not into it, and I'm like, wait, maybe I don't really like her books as much as I thought. And I went back, and I'm like, no, I've given them all 4 and 5 stars. I'm like, not that I've read a ton, but you know, whatever, I've read 4 of them or whatever. And I was just like, okay, this one's not for me, I guess. So.
Well, a lot of times you find, you know, even in your favorites there or whatever, there's always like that one dud.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm going to say my least favorite was an e-arc that I had, which I had really high hopes for. And it was The Stars Did Wander Darkling by Colin Malloy. I have not read anything by him before, but he has kind of I think a popular Wildwoods or something. It's really pretty. It looks really pretty, but I'm wondering if he's just a little too flowery for me. Even for middle grade, I don't know. It was just kind of slow and not a whole lot happened. I know it was about like kind of like alienish type things, but the whole time I was reading it, I'm like, what's it got to do with The Stars Did Wander Darkly? They did mention that one, like there was a poem or something, or something that somebody said something that said the start, and they mentioned. I was like, oh, that must be where the title comes from. But other than that, I was like, I don't get it. But and then it just, I don't know, the ending felt like it wrapped up really quick, and I was left going, what did I just read?
Yeah,
I feel like I can't explain what I just read, and so yeah. So that was probably my least favorite middle grade book.
Okay.
So let's see what people have said here. So Annie says a favorite is Trick or Treat Murder by Leslie Meyer, and least favorite was Halloween Homicide by Tony Coppes.
Okay.
And favorite non-cozy read for October is The Dreaming Beauty by Annika Annika R. Walker and a Regency Sleeping Beauty retelling. Very cleverly done and so romantic. I need to look that one up because I like Regency books, and Sleeping Beauty retelling sounds kind of interesting. And Sherry says, Witches of Brooklyn, A Discovery of Witches, yay! And Bacallman's Daughter.
Very nice, very nice.
And Cav says, ooh, yes, favorite cozy. At least one of them would be The Plot and the Pendulum, too. But there were so many good ones. I only read 3 cozies. So let's see. Out of the 3 cozies, it would probably be the one by Dakota Cassidy, which I can't remember the name. It's it has to do with witch something.
Yeah.
Oh, Witch It Real Good.
Witch It Real Good.
The titles crack me up.
Love them.
But yeah, that is just it's number 10. It's really fun. And this one was kind of Christmassy actually, because it went to the Christmas place where it puts the spin off for the Marshmallow Hollow series that she does.
Okay.
And so you get to visit that for the first time. And so it's like, oh, so that's where that spins off, where it kind of takes off from there. So
I like when that happens.
yeah. And Cav says, my least favorite cozy was Which Way to Spellbinder Bay by Sam Short. Didn't click with the heroine, and parts were repetitive. That happens. Oh. And Melmac says, I have 4 books I rated 5 stars. So I have to think about which one I like best out of these, either Whiskers and Lies or Ink and Shadows. My least favorite was Death Overdue, which I think that was quite a few people's least favorites because they didn't seem to like it by looking in the buddy read thing. I didn't get to it. It was actually a reread, and I looked back to see what I gave it whenever it first came out, and I gave it 4 stars, so I must have liked it somewhat. But I wonder how I would feel about it now if I was to go back.
What can I give it?
And Jen says my favorite was Doom Full of Sugar, which I have heard really good things about that, and I do have an e-arc of it. I just haven't got to it yet. Hopefully by now maybe there's an audiobook and I can slip it in. And Jesse says, I just read no favorites or least liked. Hey, that happens. Yeah.
Fair enough.
I asked that question on the community tab on YouTube, and I think it was Nadine or whatever says, I have 13 5 stars this month. Don't make me choose. And I'm like, wow. Like,
wow.
I wish I could come out with like that many 5 stars, but I think sometimes I'm just a little too picky. Like I gave Ravenfall 4.5 stars, and I'm like, I don't know why. I could probably just give it 5 stars because I did enjoy it. It was quite fun.
I only read 9 books this month, and a bunch of them were short story horrors, and I'm in a reading slump, so I'm just like, I'm lucky I gave 4 stars. I have 3 4 stars, so.
But that's still good for being in kind of a reading slump. That
yeah.
You got through 9, though.
True.
And Jesse says the only book I will be reading by Nora Roberts is Midnight Bayou for November. Yay!
Why is that the only book you'll be reading by her? Or just in November, do you mean?
Well, probably for because I do like the Nora November that I'm doing. So I asked people if they wanted to read
okay. So that's why I was like, wait, is that the only Nora book you're ever going to read? Or
might be the only one she wants to read.
There you go.
It's the one that I'm going to be reading first. That's why I had it over here. I've read like a chapter of it, and so far it's not bad. But everybody seemed to like that one. Like all the comments, like the most one that everybody said they really liked was Midnight Bayou. So, and see, even Melmac says that is her favorite Nora Roberts stamp.
I'm still voting for the ones you're reading, The Dark Witch.
Yeah.
I love that trilogy, so.
I will probably get to that one after I do Midnight Bayou, because I am curious about that one, and I've heard a lot of stuff about that one. So,
love that trilogy.
Okay, so I'm gone a little bit over, but that's okay.
Yeah.
And we will go ahead and read to the top of the hour again. Is that okay?
Sounds good.
All right. So happy reading, everyone.
Happy reading.
So, how did everybody do?
I'm a bunch of books into editing right now, so being productive.
Cool.
How about you?
I got to page 265 out of 280, so almost there.
Yeah, you're almost there.
And Dresden was still bothering me.
Mm.
It's like, go away, Dresden, go away. Finally, I took her over there on my bed, and I like sat over there with her for a little bit. And so right now she's still over there. So
Okay.
it's like, hopefully she'll just stay right there.
Maybe she'll just think, okay, that's it. Stay here.
Okay, so Jessie said she doesn't really care for Nora Roberts unless it's J.D. Robb, so that's why she's just going to read them.
Okay.
And Mel said Dark Witch, that trilogy is awesome, but I think that's why it's on the list.
I agree. I'm a fan.
Hi, Nadine says I have The Witness ready for my Nora pick for November. I'm all about the Nora Roberts publicist husband buddy read.
There you go.
I want to start reading the In Death series in 2023. 56 books. Yikes. I have the first book on my list, so I may be doing In Death in 2023 too. I can't just read the one book. I'm going to have to at least read a couple of them if I like it anyway.
Yeah.
And
I've thought about jumping in and starting to get going in it.
I'm just gonna think of it like this. I'm just gonna start, and I'm not gonna worry about how many books are in it. Just read one here or there if I like it. If I really, really like it, then I could read one a month or whatever. But
for 56 months, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's not think like that.
No, I know. You're right. You're right.
That sounds way too long.
Yeah, true.
And Tiffany popped in and said hi.
Happy Halloween, Tiffany.
And Jessie says, I will be reading the Langtry Sisters series by Scarlett Dunn, Whispering Pines, Return to Whispering Pines, and Christmas at Whispering Pines. And I had to go look it up, and it is a historical romance, and they sounded really good. They're Christian romances, and they sounded cool.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, oh, Whispering Pines. I'm reading Whispering Pines.
That's what I thought.
I'm sure it's a totally different Whispering Pines.
Yep.
And Jessie says, by the way, Storm, I listened to Welcome to Deadhouse on Scribd. It was cute. Yeah. I think the Goosebump books are a lot more fun on audiobook. Because, they are really little kids. I think, like, the Goosebumps now would probably be, like, 6 and 7-year-olds would probably read those and think, oh, those are kind of creepy.
True.
Where middle graders might not really think so much. But, yeah, I think if the narrator does it right and they can fluctuate their voice and it makes the kids sound like they're scared, it just kind of lends a little bit more of a creepy tone to the Goosebumps. And so I had fun listening to them.
Nice. We didn't have that opportunity when we were younger.
Yeah.
To read it.
Yeah. And Jenny says, I completely forgot that everyone would be cashing in their points. Yeah, for the Harlequin. And Jessie said, read a lot of Nora Roberts trilogies back 20 years ago. As she said, yeah. Yeah, she's been going for a while. Hannah says, I have about an hour left of Muscled Out on audio. Cool.
Got this.
And Annie listened to 56 pages. Wow.
Nice.
Melmac says, I started The Diva Haunts the House by Krista Davis, domestic diva number 5. Only read 6 pages, though. But she's saying, I started it in October, so it's an October read. That's what you're getting at, right?
There you go.
And Cav says, didn't get much reading done. Trick-or-treating picked up with the older crowd, and I'm officially out of candy. Hooray! Yay!
Hey.
I would probably be like, darn, there's no candy left, but I know some people don't want to have any candy left. And Jen says, I didn't read. I cleaned up the kitchen, and then my son came home from being with friends and was hyped up on candy.
There you go.
I can see that. And Lisa says, it's 1 a.m. here, so I'm off to bed, but thanks for inspiration to read. You are welcome, and good night. Have a good night. 1 a.m. I'd be sleeping already, I think.
Right?
Yes, this book totally counts for October.
Too funny. Too funny.
So, what kind of books are you thinking about reading for November? Do you have any plans or anything?
I want to have plans, but as I said to you earlier today,
Mhm.
I just want to finish up my list of books. I have 25 books on my list to complete my goals for 25 books to complete my goals for 2022. So, kind of just pushing for those.
Are there any short ones?
A couple of the In It holiday bays are not that long. They're usually like 3 hours on
Yeah, I was gonna say.
audio.
I mean, because like if some of if a lot of them were short, then it wouldn't be quite as large a number. It wouldn't sound like it'd be.
It's all the ones I've been like putting all the physical books I've been putting off and like the bigger books I've been putting off, and I'm like, damn.
That makes it even harder if you can't get audiobooks for those too.
Yeah, like I've been like particularly looking at this like one book I've had sitting here, and I'm like,
Which one is that? What is that?
this is Four Dead Queens by Astrid Schultz that I've put on like every TBR this month, this year, and I'm just like, nope, still sitting there.
Yeah, I at one point in time I was going to read that and then I didn't read that. I don't know why.
I started to listen to it on audio at one point, but I think a lot of the names sounded like, it's a fantasy world. A lot of the names sounded familiar, and I'm like, I think I need to read this just to be able to like maybe even just in the beginning to see the names and the locations, then maybe I can get into an audio, but I was lost right from the beginning, so we'll see.
I haven't even looked at my goals that I because I'm like by now I probably am not going to meet like most of it, but on my SAS list, I think I've decided that if I didn't start it, I'm not worrying about it. Some of the other ones I would like to try to get a few more in, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah,
I
I'm,
read.
I'm doing good with the SAS list books. Those I can get done for sure. It's these standalones that I'm like, maybe not.
Did you fall behind on your thriller a month, or did
Nope,
you?
that one I've still kept
That
up
one
with.
still going? Oh, that's good.
Yep.
And Hannah says that she has about 15 books left for her goals.
Hey, you can
We
get
can do
that.
it. Yeah. I think I'm okay. Like I wanted to read more classics, and even though I don't think I read as many classics as I like anticipated or wanted to, I still read like I think like 5.
It's better than
So
I did,
it's not
Storm.
that bad.
You did
And I
great.
mean, 2 of them were chunky monkeys. So because we had the Count of Monte Cristo and Gone with the Wind. So
Those are huge. Yeah, those are huge.
so I was like, I was pretty good. And so what other? Oh, to read my own books, I did fairly decent. I think I've probably read maybe about 20 or 25 of my actual books that I have around here, which is not near enough, but at least I did read some compared to last year when I probably read like 2. So I mean that's
I've built up a pile over there throughout this year, so we'll see. Do you
I have
have any?
piles everywhere.
Do you have any plans yet for 2023?
No, that's like something also that I'm like, man, I need to like it's getting too close to the end of the year and I need to do that too.
My 2023 is going to have a lot of Nora trilogies in it. I can tell you that. So
If I like the ones that I start, I probably will be finishing a lot of Nora trilogies.
it actually worked out perfect. The amount of trilogies that I have left are 12 going into 20. So I'm like, okay, if I could finish a trilogy a month, that takes a large chunk of my Nora books off.
It
So.
does. That's good. And Melmac says that she has a bunch of classics next year. At least that's the plan. And I know, I think we were going to read some of those classics, I think. I think Wuthering Heights might have been one of them. Yay. Yay for Nora Roberts. Yay for ordering Jane Eyre. Yay.
Nice. That's your favorite, isn't it?
Yeah, I like that one. That was the first classic I ever read. I think I was in my early 20s.
Okay.
So it's kind of got that little special spot.
Of course.
And I keep hearing everybody talk about all these, like the Victober, and they're talking about all the classics they were reading and stuff, and it's like, that sounds good. That sounds good.
Just adding to your TBR.
It's like, why do they have to be so long?
Listen, I struggle with the short classics too, so I'm just like, eh.
Well, it's like I'm counting that was a Little House in the Big Woods. It's a classic kids book. So
I counted mine too. I counted my Laura Ingalls book for that one.
Hannah says I need to go through and put pen to paper for my goals for 2023. Yeah, that's kind of me. I gotta decide. And I need to be nice to myself and not make it too hard.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, I feel like when I make my list, I'm like, oh, this isn't bad. I can do this. And then I'm just like, this is a lot. But we'll see.
Because I think sometimes you need to make consider. Well, there might be somebody might want a buddy read something, or somebody might say, "Hey, this is good," and you're like, "Oh, I want to read that." So you need to leave a little bit of room for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And Melmac says, I have a few Nora Roberts trilogies I still need to read. The ones that have come out since I started reading Just Cozies in 2017. So I think we're all going to be reading trilogies.
Yeah.
It's going to be the year of the Nora Roberts trilogies. And Annie says, Lee, did you finish your Debbie Maycomer series, and did you like it?
I have not. I've read the first 4 books in Cedar Cove, so I still have to finish with that. I feel like that's honestly for me like the biggest looming project over me as far as that goes. But.
Well, if you don't finish it, we can read it together next year, because I'm on number 7.
That's probably where I'll get by the end of the year. So
yeah, because like I need a little push. I need a push to read the rest of it, and it's not like I don't like it. It's just
right. I am enjoying them. Yeah, it's just like other things came up, but I really am liking what I've read so far.
I think that's like been my problem too. It's like even whenever I look at like the e-arcs and stuff that I've got, I'm like, oh, this sounds good. This one sounds good. Whenever I start talking about them and stuff, and I'm like, when am I going to fit this in? So I think next year, maybe I'll spotlight a lot of people's readathons and not partake in them.
That's how I feel too. I was like, well, I still want to give people credit and get people to see their videos, but
yeah.
I'm like, I feel that way for my own videos. I'm like, oh, maybe if I just read one book, it'll be okay.
Yeah, because like I think I did like a readathon almost every month, and so I'm like,
and then sometimes things just came up where it's like I was so strict in what I had to read that it was just like, oh, but I saw somebody was doing something and I kind of wanted to do that, but like I didn't leave myself room for that type of thing.
Yeah. And I also think if you spotlight the readathon and be like, I'm going to read this one book for it, then
yes.
At least you're promoting and you're helping and you're.
That's exactly what I was going to
do. Not try to make like the whole month has to be like those readathons and stuff. And even if you decide to make your own readathons next year, it's like they're for everybody else. I'm going to read one.
Yeah, no, that's exactly how I feel. Yeah, I'm like.
I am looking forward to my retro romance readathon in February, though.
Me too.
But I think maybe I'm going to take January off so I can prepare.
There you go. There you go.
Melmac says she also has all of the Nora Roberts standalones from 2017 and after. So
that's what I've got in red. I have to go back and do the other ones. So
see, you're going back in time, and she's got to go forward.
The thing is that the 80s, her books from the 80s are just so brutal. I'm like, I can't. So that's why I'm mixing up and doing trilogies next
year. Yeah. Some of the older ones, they're a little cheesy because I have read one because I think I did that one, read one for retro romance readathon, and it was a bit cheesy. And it's a trilogy, so I need to finish that up too. So
there you go.
Got an 80s trilogy kind of thing going on. Sorry if you can hear Dresden, but there is a skunk outside because I can smell it. And Dresden knows it's out there somewhere, so she thinks she's big and brave, and she's barking at it downstairs.
From the safety of the house. Got it.
Yeah. Well, she thinks, let me at it. And I'm like, no, you do not want at it.
Yeah, you don't.
I do not need to deal with the aftermath.
No.
And Danielle says, I like to keep up with Katie Dickens along, but Katie's Dickens along, but I'm afraid it's probably going to take up a lot of my reading time. Yeah, because a lot of Dickens books are like dense and they're like large.
Yes.
Because I saw that she was doing, I thought, well, that sounds cool. I could just, because I'd like to read more Dickens, but I'm like, oh, the first one I started reading was the Pickwick Papers, and that looked kind of long. Like, I'm not in the mood for that right now.
That's
like I'm already gonna get behind, so it's like maybe I will just pick out a few that I want to read.
That's it. Just take it a little bit at a time. That's kind of why I love how Elizabeth does her. She's like, I'll just chip away at it and chip away at it and get there.
Yeah, like she's like 3 months down the line, still working on retro romance. I'm still working on those books. So it's like, hey, it works.
Yeah, she makes it work for herself.
She reads a lot anyway.
She does. She does.
So I said, my inner Elizabeth this month, I feel like.
You did so good this month. So good.
And Nadine says, I had a great Victober TBR list. I haven't read any. Next year, mood reading hits me hard in October. Yeah. I think we should read our Victober books earlier, and then we can say, look, I participated in Victober. I just did it in July.
You read them in January and then bust out those videos in October and be like, look what I did.
Record your video, and then it's like, look, I read it.
I like it.
And the mood was not for Victorian lit. Yeah. Well, it's like this month is like I was really in the mood for just this like spooky middle grade. I felt like it was such an easy month because I had all these like really nice little short books and all that even the cozy mysteries that I read, it was a struggle to listen to those because I didn't want to. But I was trying to get a bingo for like the cozy Halloween bingo, and that last one, In the Company of Wolves, I really wasn't liking it that well. And like everybody loves it, and I'm like, this doesn't feel cozy. And I was struggling, and I'm like, I need a black cat.
Wait, I was looking on 2 books I had. Both of them had a black dog on the cover. I'm like, really? You couldn't have the black cat? Come on.
Yeah, it's like, oh, and one of my other ones, I'm like, well, maybe I could cheat and say it's a tuxedo. Does it count because it's got black on it?
There you go.
But I finished it. I'll give the second one a try. But now I'll know it's not quite as fluffy paranormal as I like mine to be. It's
right. Yeah, so you know.
And Hannah says next year's going to do 2 arcs a month. Yeah. And I say that I'm going to work on my arcs, and then readathons happen, and then I can't fit them in. Then that's the problem. It's like
I heard you and Sarah going, me too, Hannah, me too. And I'm like, yeah, right.
That's why I'm like
at 5.
That's why I was like, even if I really, really think I want to like participate in the readathon, I think maybe if I just shout it out and read one for it, and then not, because unless I can fit like my NetGalley arcs into them, I'm just going to have to say no. Because I mean, there are so many readathons, like so many. And every year somebody comes up with a new one. And
or then it's old ones too that you enjoy doing, so you want to continue with those too.
And Hannah can't wait for retro romance. Me either.
Me too.
And Annie says 4 books says goodly. They are chunky.
That's the thing, is I didn't expect that they were going to be chunky. I thought they were going to be kind of on the shorter side. So I was overconfident with that one.
Well, it's like with the Nora books. I'm like, if I can't get audio, I'm never going to make it through audio. Hers are quite the chunky beast. Mm-hmm. Actually, this the Midnight Bayou was under 400 pages, which I was very surprised because I feel like every time I look them up, it says like 400 pages.
Yeah, they're a lot.
And Hannah says Elizabeth usually has 20 books going at in time. Yeah, I think the most I've ever had going at the same time is like 8.
Oh my gosh. I think like 4 for me.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's like why it always, like, she reads so much, because like she reads on all these, and then all of a sudden like she finishes all of them. Because that's how it is with me. I start the month off, and like the first week I'm like, I read 2 books. like I finished 2 books.
Yeah.
But no, I'm reading like 6, but I only finished 2. And then the next week, like I finished 5, and then I finished.
Because you're all like, they're all starting to catch up and finish. Yeah.
I start to catch up with them. Because
Mhm.
I like this last week, I read 8 Goosebump books, and they're like really short. So I mean, it was really easy to read. Like I read like 2 of them in one day, especially on an audiobook because like I read 2 times speed, so
Yeah.
it's easy to get through. But then I had 4 other books besides that I did too. So it's like I read a lot.
That's how I felt with this. Like the last one I just read, The Girl in the Video. I'm like, okay, it's 2 hours, but I'm going to listen at 1.8. So we're definitely going to cut that time down. You know, I'm like, gotta hurry up.
And Annie says I read Victober Ghost Stories, so that worked out good. Yeah,
Oh, very nice.
And then also the Pickwick Papers is a big one, and I think I'm going to get behind quickly, but I am enjoying it so far. Yeah. I've enjoyed what I've read of Dickens, but it's been a while. Like I was enjoying Oliver Twist, and it's like one of those things too. It was one of my classics I was going to read this year, and I got going on it. I was listening to it on audiobook, and I was actually enjoying it. I thought it was kind of like more comical than I thought. I thought it was going to be like this really dreary book. And I was liking it, but then had to put it aside because I had all these other things, and then I just never picked it back up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going back on the pile for next year.
It'll
be the third year I've been trying to read Oliver Twist. I'm going to
third time's a charm. You got this.
Third time is a charm. And he says, "Sorry, man, Victorian ghost stories." Yeah. There's a lot of anthologies. I figured that's what. Yeah. And Jen says, besides keeping up with NetGalley arcs, I'm not making goals for next year. I'm too much of a mood reader and I'm indecisive. Yeah, I am too, and that's like a big problem with making
TBRs.
Like these TBRs or TBRs in general, or like goal plans. Because I know like something like Elizabeth, like she's got her little notepad and she's got all this, and this is what she clicks on. And I've watched other YouTubers that are like that too. It's like, okay, let's see. These are what I did for this month regarding my goals and things like that. I'm still not that organized.
I was, and then just like the second half or the last quarter hit, and I'm just like, nope, I'm a mood reader now.
So Cass has the second book, and after in the Company of Witches is much lighter. The first book had set Bryn's path. Okay. For her path of healing. That's good to know because it was really kind of felt like gloomy and dark. Oliver Twist is up next for December. See, like Larry, you're trying to pull me in. I see how you're doing that.
Don't get peer pressured.
Yeah, I have no clue what I'm even going to read in December. I'm like, let's get past Nora November 1st.
Right.
And see. Whew, that skunk is really nasty.
We had one that just sprayed outside our house over the weekend, and I was like, all the windows have to get shut, and I can't even stay here because it's so bad.
Well, and I think it thinks it's our pet because I swear it sprays out here all the time. It's like, go somewhere else. Okay, right. I know we live out in the country, but
please go. Go visit another neighbor.
Go visit another neighbor. But yeah, the thing, it happens way too often, and I still have the air conditioner in my window because like we still have some days that are going to be in the 70s, so I can't fix that. I can't like put the plastic over it yet or anything, and so it comes through really well. Mm-hmm. So do you have any videos coming up?
Tomorrow I have my October wrap-up coming out after I finish editing it tonight.
Well, at least you've already made your video. I haven't even got that far yet. Well, first I have to finish my last book.
There you go. No, because I knew I wasn't doing vlogs this month. I knew so after I finished each book, I did a wrap up really quick.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
So it's just like kind of compiling all the clips together.
I was gonna say, so it's kind of like a monthly rep or like vlog of like
all of them. Yeah.
That's cool. I've seen some people do things like that before.
Just because I know that if you have to wait till the end and then you have to go back and do all your follow-up research again, I was like, no, let me talk about it as soon as I'm done with it and then just have the clip.
Yeah, I feel like we're gonna see how much Stormy retained of these 42 books that she read whenever we get to the wrap up part.
That's what I didn't want to happen. So
Yeah. That's when I gotta remember either pause the video and look it up and then like, oh yeah, okay.
yeah,
And
okay,
then
that's what happened. Right, exactly.
because I don't do that, and I figured that's why I ramble so much, is because I get on there and then I forget what in the world it was about, and I'm like, I can't remember any characters' names. I am horrible with characters' names, and
Sorry, me too. That's why it's like, all right, I have to do. I was like, let me do them right then while I can see the person's name, remember what it was about. Because 2 books later, and I'll be like, it was about something, and people went somewhere and can't remember their names, don't know the author, and some stuff happened.
yeah.
It's like so bad.
That's kind of like me. It's like when you ask me what my favorite book is, well, it was this one, but don't ask me what it was about. But I do know that I gave it 4.5 stars.
You're like, I loved it though. All the time. All the time.
Okay, yeah, that's probably going to be my next video too, once I get it figured out.
Yeah, it's done.
Get it done.
You're coming off an amazing month though, so
Yeah.
give yourself a little bit of grace.
I'm just hoping I didn't burn myself out for Nora November.
Not if Mel has anything to say.
I was going to say, Mel, Matt, close your ears.
Yeah. I love it.
Okay, so probably go ahead and wrap things up. You're probably tired. And
Yeah, I feel bad because when I know I start like yawning constantly, I'm like, all right.
well, it's later for you anyway, and it's still Halloween, and maybe somebody wants to watch a spooky movie.
And even that, I said I wanted to watch Halloween Town 2, and I never even did that. So
I am going to watch my. I always watch. It's a tradition. I always watch the original black and white Wolfman on Halloween, so that's probably what I'll do whenever I get off here. Mel Mac says no.
You didn't hear anything, Mel.
You didn't close your ears. You didn't hear anything. That's the thing. I really want to read a lot of Thanksgiving and Christmas books too, and I need more hours in the day, and I need to read faster. Yes.
Don't we all? I agree.
She should have started the Dickens read along in January so that you could read all the Christmas holiday books and stuff.
There you go. I have to have a better plan next time.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for hanging out with us, and thanks for being here, Lee, so that I wasn't all by myself.
Of course.
Mel Mac.
I hope everyone had a good Halloween.
Yes.
They either have plenty of candy left or no candy left, depending on what you wanted.
Yes. I didn't buy any candy. Not even for myself. This stuff's too expensive.
I didn't either. And for some reason at work today, they put out a sprinkle cake for Halloween. I don't know. I work for Jews though. Maybe they thought that would be a good alternative. I don't know. But we're like,
it's like you could have just did a basket of candy and we could
just throw some Tootsie Rolls on there. We would have been fine.
Yeah. Okay. Good night, everybody. Bye.
Good night.